शक्ति 23.97% मतलब 24% होगी, तो शक्ति बढ़ नहीं रही है, कम नहीं हो रही है, बढ़ रही है।
Why did not Congress party provide that constitutional reservation for OBC? Congress has to answer.
In a special session of the parliament that was called specifically as there are no regular sessions happening due to the election cycle, the central government has introduced three important bills, which are the 131st Constitution Amendment Bill, the Delimitation Bill, and the Union Territories Laws Amendment Bill 2026. Now, among these three bills, the one bill that was defeated in the parliament for the first time in 12 years and the bill that was heavily criticized by the southern states is the Delimitation Bill. The centre wants to bring this bill to activate women's reservation, which was passed as Nari Shakti Bandhan Adhiniyam in 2023, which will only come into force after the delimitation is done. The opposition parties calls this bill as a threat to federalism and a punishment to southern states, as the states spent decades following the central government's instructions, develop their states and control their population. So in this video, we are going to discuss what is delimitation and the controversy surrounding the bill, the North versus South debate, and what are the impacts if the bill gets implemented. So first of all, what is delimitation? Delimitation is the process of redrawing the boundaries of electoral constituencies, essentially the redrawing of India's political map after every census that happens every once in 10 years. So the core idea behind this is simple. Every constituency should get an equal democratic representation so that every citizen's vote carries the same weight across the country. Now, under the Delimitation Bill, the central government proposes to increase the seats from 543 to 850, out of which 815 seats will go to the state and 35 will go to union territories. Now, if a state has more people, then they need more representation, more MPs in the parliament. Now, this is done through amending Article 81 of the Constitution, which provides for the composition of seats in Lok Sabha according to population. Article 82 of the Constitution mandates that a delimitation commission should be set up after every census to redraw the India's electoral map according to its updated census data. Now, India has gone through delimitation previously in the years of 1952, 1963 and 1973. And then the significant political shift happened during the former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's rule. Indira Gandhi froze the delimitation for the next 25 years due to emergency. Now, this was done to protect the states which have performed well and control the population, so there will be no change in the allocation of seats. And after that, during the NDA government, under Atal Bihari Vajpayee's rule, he froze delimitation for another 25 years, totally for 50 years. And now the delimitation has been pushed all the way up to 2026. The problem arises when the government wants to carry out the delimitation exercise based on a 2011 census. In 2011, we had a population of 121.09 crore, and now in 2026, we are approximately at 144 crore. Based on a 2011 census, the five southern states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, have a combined population of 25 crore people. On the other hand, UP has a population of 20 crore people and Bihar has a population of 10.4 crore people. So, the northern states such as Madhya Pradesh, UP, Bihar and Rajasthan have significantly higher population and they need more MPs to represent their people. If you see it from a point of democracy, the northern states are underrepresented and the southern states, which is lower population, is overrepresented. So, on the surface, increasing the seats from 543 to 850 sounds like a fair approach, giving voice to the underrepresented. But here is the reality. The northern states collectively gain 43 seats, including UP and Bihar alone crossing 200 seats in an 850 seat Lok Sabha. Meanwhile, the southern states collectively lose 24 seats, among which Tamil Nadu loses 11 seats, which is the highest among other southern states, which leads to the south share in the parliament decreasing from 24% to 20%. and the North share increasing from 38% to 43%. And that is why the South is protesting against the bill, claiming that they have been controlling the population for decades. Revanth Reddy, the Chief Minister of Telangana, has suggested that instead of carrying out the delimitation process only based on population, the centre should also consider the GDP contribution of a state. So the intent behind that is that the better a state performs, the more representation it deserves in the parliament. And another reason why the bill is considered as politically biased is that under section 10 subclause of 2 of Delimitation Bill, it states that once the Delimitation Commission publishes its final order in the Gazette of India, it shall have the force of law and it cannot be challenged in any court of law, not even in the Supreme Court. Whereas the Delimitation Commission will be constituted by the central government comprising of a retired Supreme Court judge, a chief election commissioner and an election commissioner of the respective state. If there are more MPs, then that leads to more political dominance. The national politics will shift from maximizing economic productivity to winning large number of votes. The second concern is that one group of states which generates a lot of GDP and growth for the country and are economically productive doesn't have a larger say in the national politics, but rather the group of states which are less productive will have a greater say over federal matters and money bills in the parliament. The third concern is the most problematic and the biggest concern, which is that if the bill goes through, the central government doesn't need the support of the southern states to form the government. So overall the issue is complex and a country has to balance both equity and equality. A country has to support both the weaker regions while also strengthening its most productive regions.